this one. It's much smaller, but these are gonna be like the watercolor ones. I have these ones that I do that I call Watercolor Girls, Black Watercolor Girls. But like I said before, those had a little bit more leeway because they were on paper. So the blending of the paints together and you could layer them. But like the acrylic, I can layer because it dries and it's acrylic. But like I've seen with these particular watercolor canvases, while I like that it's on a canvas because I was having issues with the paper bending, and then with me trying to use colored pencils and stuff on top, I just had it was like just really hard and very time consuming. So I was like, yeah, I can get it. And then when I tried to do it on the canvas, my first one that I did, actually really liked how it turned out. So I'm trying to figure out, do I like these better? I have way more creative control in the other ones, but at the same time, I'm kind of in this like not that hands-on, like super, I don't know the word, like I'll just say controlling type of art. I'm kind of in the you don't really know what it's gonna do, but no matter what, you're working with it type of thing. So I'm gonna try to roll with that. And we'll see how that goes, because usually once again I start by pouring water on there. I always just pour water in there and splash water on there. The other one turned out really pretty. I'll have to compare it with this one, but this one I have to layer dry. Like I gotta make a giant pool of water and color and let it air dry, because and then after that I can barely touch it again, because once it once it dries, and if I get it wet again, it takes the paint off and it doesn't like soak in or something, but it doesn't soak into it like it does paper, where I could layer another color on top of that does not have. So it's kind of like a one and done thing. I'm gonna try to do it. Once again, I have to get my watercolor paints. Oh crap, I can't control it. Hold on. I have to get my shoes. Move them over. I do just kind of like keep running containers of like watercolor in these. Okay, there you go. Like most of my colors, and then I kind of mix colors, use them. I just found this to be easier. I've been seeing other people with the whole like tray and be using the stuff in the tray. I don't know, that doesn't work for me. So I'm just gonna use these. If I have to mix a color, oh my god, my head. Oh, okay, woo, it's coming back. But if I have to mix a color, which I have to stop earlier than I did yesterday, because and then I couldn't sleep, and then I'm also used to the man, it's a terrible angle. There you go. I'm gonna have to stop soon. So I'm gonna put the water in here. Sucks because I wanted to do my drawings and I wanted to do a couple of fall things for my show on Sunday, but if I get to it, I get to it. I wanted to bring something different. I'm gonna bring the same stuff. We'll see. It's only Thursday. It's a few days, but well, 2 days. Watercolor. So there's that, and then I actually have to get like my watercolor containers, which I have to put this down. So I also got salt. I use this sometimes if I want sparkly look. Sometimes the salt dissolves into the paint on there and it makes it look shimmery, and other times it does the typical like pull the water out, spread pigment look of the salt. But I have it just in case. I don't always use it. I use it very randomly. But I have my paint that. This is so dumb that you can't like flip it while you're using it, can you? I don't think you can. Okay, anyway. But now once again, master's touch. Saving money, and it kind of works. So you can't always afford those so-called brand name stuff, but you know what? That does not mean you can't make great art still. I think they work for now, like for what I'm doing. And it's not like they were like that cheap, but at least what I consider cheap. I'm really cheap, so I consider it not that cheap, but either way. So I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna put the phone up here in the thingamathing because holding it's stupid and impossible. So we're gonna put it up there. So that's a decent angle. It's not my preferred, but like this don't, like I guess I could kind of have it over me, but it don't be straight. It look, it's like crooked. Is that weird to watch? It being crooked? I don't know. That's not the right, there you go. So usually with these, obviously I want to use just the dried up ones on here directly. I use these usually because there's not that much, and I'll put them for like detail colors or adding a little bit of color, but honestly to start off with for this, because of how the water pools on here, I am going to have to make pools of color in here, what I want to do. So the last one I did was blue and purple and pink. I love that combination, and it has some greens in it too. So this one, I think I just really want to do a red one, like so bad, like a red, orange, yellow combo, because I really liked how that one turned and smeared together and dried together. So I'm gonna see if I can do that with these. That's what we're rolling with. So I'm gonna leave it on film, and then I'm gonna put it on here. So I might start when it's magenta, and then rose. That's not really what I want, because they're pinker than I wanted. I don't have that many. I do have the, I'll probably use some of this vermilion and crimson, maybe a hint of the brilliant red. Sometimes the brilliant red can be too bright. It ends up looking more pink depending on what I'm putting on. But so because these also kind of separate in the tube, I'll just sit here and do this. Do a little shimmy, a little squeeze, just to kind of sort of get it. And then, dang, I did all that for the wrong color. But, and then when I open it, I'm gonna open it up like this. I'll like squeeze it till it starts to come out like this. See, there you go. It, oh, and then do like this like back and forth thing to like get it mixed up initially. And once I think that's pretty good and it's not all, it doesn't have like that liquid in it, then I'll put it, which I don't know if it belongs in here, but this looks red and I'm gonna stick it in there. And I don't need a ton, but at the same time more than I would normally, because I'm trying to cover this whole piece. So there's that. That one was the crimson. And then we're gonna put, the vermilion is more of an orange. Oh, why is this not open? Interesting. It's still more of an orange, but like, I'm surprised it wasn't open. I guess I'd use vermilion in a different one, not the watercolor ones. Like, it's, I don't know if you can see that, but like, see how it's got like that liquid in there? Well, so I'm gonna put the cap back on, do a good shimmy, and then do a couple squeezes, do a good shimmy, couple squeezes. So like that helped a lot. It's not nearly as wet, but like, and then I just gotta do this. And it helps kind of at least mix it up some, so now it's more of a solid paint. I'm gonna put it on top of the orange because I think that's just straight up orange. Yeah, it's probably just straight up orange. There is this orange. It says ripe sienna. Interesting. I don't know if I've seen that before. But we're gonna put this vermilion in this like empty spot right here. It's not that empty, but like it's empty enough. And it's like a high orange, man. I need some light up in this piece. This cord ain't gonna reach all the way over there though. Start from here and turn this up. It's a three-way. It's a little better. Oh my gosh, my head. Okay. Every time I move a certain way. We're almost done. Almost there. This This is just the frustration of having migraine. Because that's just what happens. It just hits you out of nowhere, and then you can do absolutely nothing else. And I'm gonna have to go lay down, even though I don't want to. But I'm gonna have to. Anyway, so I have yellow. What is this? Yellow medium yellow. And then I also have yellow ochre, which is almost like a raw sienna, but it's a little bit more yellowier than that. Mix, because I don't think I've used these before. Whatever. Okay. I've probably used the medium yellow before, but now, actually I have used this yellow ochre because there's paint on the outside. I'm just scared it's gonna end up more brown. I'm gonna try it still. I'm gonna put it. That's the only problem when I use too many colors. I'll have to clean it out. Because I don't need this like weird looking dirty paint right there. So let's just clean that off. There you go. Cleaned out. Alright, so I'm gonna put this yellow ochre right there. Oh, dang, I must have used a lot of yellow ochre on something. It's kind of iffy. And then this medium yellow right next to it. And that's kind of like a greenish yellow. Let's see if that's how much right there. If I left it. Alright. Now a lot of times in order to get a really good sunset, I do kind of need a little bit more like, I'm going for sunset. A little bit purple in there. Maybe some blue. It'll essentially mix with the red and make purple, but it's a different kind. It's depending on what blue you use. Which I do have blue if necessary. So we're gonna start. I put some splashes on here already. But we're gonna start kind of with a big brush to get enough blood. And I wanna throw it out kind of like this. I don't know if you saw that, I almost knocked that over. Okay. So it kinda, we're gonna figure out, we're about to experience the pattern of the water. So since I want it to be mostly red, I'm just gonna like put a whole bunch of water in this little thing right here. Stir, stir, stir. It needs to be kind of pigmented because if not, it ends up like wet. Okay. So I also want to make sure I leave some spaces. This almost looks like a little bag. But I also want to leave some spaces so that I can put the girl in there somewhere. And what I've also learned is that I cannot paint her just like on top like I had done before. It's almost like she has to be like one with the paint, which I'll do that later after it dries, because if I try to do it now it's all gonna blend together. But I'm gonna go back. Where's, I did not use pink at all, which is fine because I didn't want this one. But I'm gonna add more of this vermilion because it's kind of, this is, oh shoot, I never used any other red sand. I was wondering why I didn't use this orange. It'll keep a lot of these like little smeary parts, but I don't know. I smell not sold. I don't want to suddenly put pink in there or blue. Maybe a little green, but it needs to be like either a yellow green or like an olive green. So if I mix this kind of like a Luigi green, just take a bit of this. I'm not gonna use those though. But these are kind of the colors I kept it as. These. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry exactly like this. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna blow dry it. You see how it's still wet? Obviously, it's like a whole pool. The only thing is that sometimes it'll dry exactly like this, which is what I'm hoping it does. And then there are some times where it ends up more blended together than I thought. But I can at least always come back with dots of color. I don't have to, it's just like if this dries like this and then if I mess with it again, it will not dry. It'll be jacked up and I have to start over, which will affect this, but it'll be a whole thing because this is all one spot. But she'll probably go somewhere in here where I left some more spaces because I can paint over those, especially if it's just dots. I can paint over those. I haven't decided. This almost looks like one of the other ones I did, which is interesting how it ends up because I definitely just threw water in here. But anyway, so that's what. Oh, my knee. Oh, my back. That's what it's drawing as, and I'm gonna try to. I'll come back to it later. So I got like 5 minutes or so left in me until I need to actually like sit down. So I'm gonna check. It's been drying for like an hour ish. So I'm gonna see how dry it is currently. But like I said, I can't really touch it again. I might do a couple splashes and see. But that's pretty much as far as I can get with that. So I'm gonna turn this around and see what it says. So this is it. Like you can still see, it's just a little wet on the edge, but like most, you see it's a little bit wet right there. Most of it is dry, but like if you look and see like the part here that is dry, like and even down here, like it dried like that. That's what I was hoping it would do. It was dry exactly in that smeary way. So kind of same thing in here. It dried like this. I don't know, like this is still wet because it's a hunk of red paint. Yep. But as far as everything that is still wet, it looks like it's mostly just like the edge here, a little bit into there, but everything else is pretty dry. That's the only other thing is I don't like how like not vibrant it can get, but I'm gonna have to let that dry, this edge dry again. But I do think I'm gonna splatter more red. It does not look great in the camera. Like it's definitely, ooh, it's almost like the brighter it gets, the other color. It's like, it definitely looks more kind of like this. I'm gonna bring the light over, but like, that's more of what it looks like. So what I think I'll do is splash a little bit of red and then let it go, because if I start messing with it too much, it's gonna get jacked up. Okay, so I added more dots. They should stay more on top, I just don't know. We're gonna find out. Like, so this was dry, obviously, and then I just put more yellow and purple, and I also put more green because I wanted a little bit more than that. Added a little bit more contrast in there and in there, and then of course I also added a little bit more orange between the yellowish orange and the it's like a pinky red. It's very warm red, but either way, I wanted to add more of the orange in between the two colors. And then of course I added way more yellow. So I'm hoping like these little spots like up in here and up in here stay, because I wanted to show the yellow. I'm not going to do a final yellow design splashes until I actually paint the chick on there, because I'm going to end up probably painting over it. Plus I also don't want to lose a lot of these lighter spaces, which is probably going to fit, because painting over these is really hard, because once it gets wet then it has this ugly, really like harsh water line, and I don't like that. So I'll do the painting of the girl. I'm going to try to get one where I can get like a perspective like this or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out how I can do that, because having it like way back behind me is not working. So we're going to let this dry probably, based on how I'm feeling, won't get to it today, which is disappointing. But you know, it is what it is.